Good morning. And happy day after Father's Day. I've never seen so many different people. We even got a group of Methodists back here on the back row. Glad to have all of them. Welcome to this sacred place, actually on hallowed ground here in Person County, North Carolina. First of all, I'd like to recognize a couple in it. There are a great number of people here that I'm delighted to see, but there's a couple folks that came from Raleigh to be with us from the SBI. They are retired, Mr. Bolus and Mr. Allen, and we're just delighted that you all are here. But we're delighted to have everyone, and that's all the names I'm going to call. This is a day and a time that we gather as friends and family to show sincere love, honor, respect, and gratitude to our dear brother, Ernest T. Dixon. Before we shower Mr. Ernest with love and attention, I would like to call your attention to not too many years ago, another favorite son of Person County, the highly respected bailiff, J.D. McBroom, would stand in this vicinity and offer the time-honored sound of a bailiff's cry. Now, you don't need to stand up, but J.D. would say, "Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, this honorable court is now open and sitting for the dispatch of its business. God save the state and this honorable court. You may be seated." Remember that? Yeah. And God bless J.D. McBroom. And I always wanted to do that. So thank you. Got that off of my wish list. So at this time, I've asked the Chief of Roxborough Police Department, David Hess, to open with a prayer.
Let's pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you so much for allowing us yet again an opportunity to be blessed with today, Lord, to be gathered in your midst. Lord, your word says where two or more gathered in your name, so also are you. So Lord, thank you for being amongst us. Lord, we thank you for Sheriff Ernest T. Dixon. We thank you for what he did for this community, the lives that he's touched, as that's represented here around this room. Lord, your word teaches us that you have placed people in positions of authority to carry out your will on this side of eternity. Thank you for allowing him to serve this community. Thank you for those who you've appointed to be leaders in this community to carry out the legacy that he left behind. Ask now that you would bless those who are here to present, to give them your words to speak and not theirs. Lord, that we would just enjoy this time of fellowship amongst the community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chief. As well, I've asked Sheriff Dewey Jones to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
All disabled, please stand. Place the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say a quick word. A lot of people may not know this. This man is the one that gave me the opportunity to start where I'm at now. He's the one that sponsored me to go to BLET back a few years ago. And I just want to say thank you.
This time I would like to recognize all the present and former first responders. Would you stand up? Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen that were standing, please know that your service to this community is very much recognized and appreciated. Fittingly, today we all gather in this sacred building to honor one of our own sons, a homegrown son, retired Sheriff Ernest Taft Dixon. The idea of this gathering started with a few brief conversations, an email or two between retired Chief Deputy Joy Hill, Clerk of Superior Court Deborah Barker, North Carolina House Representative Larry Yarber, and myself. This is truly a reaction to a aha moment. Now, you may have noticed the Person County Courthouse sits on a high spot of Main Street, Roxbury. It is fitting and appropriate for us to meet on this high ground at high noon in the High Court to honor the now retired, you got it, High Sheriff Ernest T. Dixon. An honorable public official, public servant, a man that has given more than he took. For many years, Ernest Dixon put himself in harm's way for the benefit and protection of Person County citizens, friends, and neighbors. I am reminded of in the 15th chapter of John, verse 13, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Now, everyone in the room today has a special fond memory, a story to tell, a prank, a favor, an investigation, or maybe a chase. Now, I promise this occasion, on this work day Monday, would be short and sweet. So if everyone wants to tell their story, we could be here deep into the evening. However, for a short story that you will appreciate, I call on our Clerk of Superior Court, Debbie Barker, and then retired Chief Deputy, now Magistrate, Joy Horton Hill.
Welcome to the Person County Courthouse. They say that this is my house, but it's your house. And today we open the doors to all of you and welcome you here today. Please note the renovations for some of you who haven't been in the district courtroom since we renovated in 2010 and 12. And we are honored to have you back here in this courtroom for a good occasion. We have with us lots of dignitaries, I say, because we have a lot of, we have a retired clerk of court, Mr. Humphreys, and we do have the sitting sheriff in Grapple County, Sheriff Wilkins, and the sitting sheriff in Casper County, Mike Welch. So I want to welcome you and our fire chief. So thank you all. Now, y'all take a good look at this jury box. We joke about it, but now, I don't know. I think that's a good-looking jury. What do y'all think? Okay. As you will see in the district courtroom here, we have several portraits that hang in our courtroom. Over my right shoulder, you will see the portrait of Trooper Joe G. Wright, whom most of you here remember, who lost his life in the line of duty. His daughter is an assistant district attorney practicing in this courtroom, and he looks over her about every day. And so I find that very fitting. The present portrait was refurbished by the Wright family and rehung here to its rightful place. There's also a portrait of attorney and former Speaker of the House of the North Carolina House of Representatives James Ramsey, and the local bar and the county commissioners hung that portrait to honor him. And finally, over my left shoulder, you will see the portrait of Sheriff Cliff Palmer, who also gave his life in the line of duty. And these folks, these men, are very significant people in the history of Person County, and we honor them here. Now, of course, during the renovation, the portraits had to come down while this courtroom was renovated. And of course, I was the one who made sure that we took great care to take them down and make sure that we stored them properly. So as I was here taking down Sheriff Palmer's portrait, I noticed that there was a piece of paper on the back of it in large scrolled cursive writing. And I thought, what is this? And so on the back was this piece of paper taped. And as I looked further, I read the following. leave this picture where it is hanging. This man died in the line of duty, and the county commissioners approved that this picture be hung on this wall, but have not agreed for you to take it down. Leave it alone until they pass an ordinance allowing you to take it down. Signed, Ernest Dixon, Sheriff of Person County. So I immediately looked around to see who was in here, because I had taken it down. So I made the executive decision to remove the portrait and place it in my office until it was safe to rehang it on the wall. And to my knowledge, it is the only time that portrait has been removed. So, I let you know, I tell on myself. So, but I made sure it was taken care of. So, I join with the rest of this group today, Sheriff, and to honor you and congratulate you on this honor of receiving the Order of Long Leaf Pine. I believe that this room is the appropriate setting for you to receive this honor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you and good morning. I had the honor and pleasure of working under Sheriff Dixon during his tenure as Sheriff of Person County. He was an honest, hard-working sheriff and strived for professionalism in the department and wanted only the best for the members of the department. Okay? He was a man of principle and a tough on criminals and the department. So he had a tight ship he had to follow about. I'm not going to go into details on some of the things, like a bullet hole in the file cabinet, some of the patrol cars getting ready. You know, that's some secrets we have to keep. And he was really tough on criminals, but one thing, he had a heart of gold when it came to children. In the summertime, he would authorize the deputies. We would get a group of underprivileged children, but one of us would go to Carowinds or King's Dominion. And that was just where his love for the children, for the county, and he approved the deputies doing that. Then again, at Christmas, he made sure we had a party for the underprivileged children. We would give them food, and we'd take them shopping and have presents for them. So that was another heart of gold that the sheriff had. He was not that tough all the time, but he did love the children. And even one night, my doorbell rings at home, and I thought, that's the front doorbell. I said, nobody comes to my house at the front door unless it's a stranger. So I get my gun, go to the door, and lo and behold, it's Sheriff Santa Dixon. He was there to visit with my son. So I want to appreciate and thank you for your leadership you gave to the men and women of the Sheriff's Department, the service to the citizens here in Carson County, and all for the wonderful memories you gave us. God bless you, and we love you.
Lastly, I'd like to share the general context of a phone call I received Friday afternoon. It went like this. Young man said, "Hey, Crump, this is Dempsey." Says, "I got a phone call from your daughter about the presentation to Ernest Monday. I'm not going to be able to attend. I got to have surgery on my foot at 10:30. But look, I want you to do something for me. Give Ernest this message. Tell him I love him. Tell him I would otherwise be right there with him, just like he has been there with me for many, many years. I have so much respect for that man. He's a great friend. I will go see him when I get straightened out. Crump, If you would do that for me as a personal favor, I sure would appreciate it. There's only one Dixon coming. So, to read and present the Person County Proclamation, I call on the chairman of the Person County Board of Commissioners, Tracy Kendrick.
I'm honored to be here. I've known Sheriff Dixon for a long time. Kenneth and I grew up together. So if I get emotional, y'all stay with me. Number one, I didn't realize that they had remodeled this place. The last time I came in here, I was standing on that side instead of this side. So, and now at least I know what it looks like from this direction instead of the opposite direction. So, but I've known Sheriff Dixon for a long time and have really appreciated his counsel and his wisdom, Miss Mabel and everybody. I really appreciate you guys, and thank y'all for allowing me to come in here and speak. Proclamation. Whereas the Person County Board of Commissioners wishes to acknowledge and express its sincere appreciation to Ernest Taft Dixon for his years of dedicated service to the citizens of Person County. And whereas throughout his career, Ernest Taft Dixon served his country as a member of the United States Army 1954 to 1956, served his county and community as Person County Deputy Sheriff 1968 to 1971, a prison guard for the North Carolina Department of Corrections from 1972 to 1974, was elected by the citizens of Person County Sheriff from 1974 to 1990, and a jail inspector for the state of North Carolina from 1991 to 2004. And whereas Ernest Taft Dixon volunteered for well over 40 years to the Roxborough Fire Department and has been deemed a lifetime member of the Person County Rescue Squad. And whereas Ernest Taft Dixon has demonstrated himself as a humble, dependable, and loyal servant to his family, his county, his state, and our nation. Now, therefore, I, Tracy L. Kendrick, by virtue of the authority vested in me as chairman of the Person County Board of Commissioners, and on behalf of the board, do hereby declare today, June 19, 2017, as Ernest Taft Dixon Day in Person County. Thank you.
And now I call on our North Carolina House Representative, Larry Yarber, to present the Order of the Longleaf Pine.
Thank you, Barrett. Good afternoon. It's good to see so many people out here. As I've always personally believed it, and getting out campaigning and seeing what the community thinks about it, is no doubt that public safety is the most important thing that our government does. And I want to, as a representative, I want to thank all of our public servants that are keeping us safe here today. Appreciate you guys every day and always. Can we give them a hand again? I also appreciate the people that come before me. As I'm getting older, I realize how short-lived my little contribution to public service is going to be, and how quickly everyone will move on from it. But I appreciate the people that made the community that we have what it is today. I know about the time Sheriff Dixon was serving was about the same time Kimmy and I were deciding where we're going to go raise our family. And we knew that Roxborough was a good, safe place to raise a family and to have a good life. And we have been blessed with that, and appreciate the people that came ahead of us and made that possible. As I get out in the community and I talk to a lot of people, that is the job. And with this coming up, I've talked to a number of people about Sheriff Dixon. And I did not hear anyone that has anything even less than sincerely positive to say. The people of this community do love, remember, and appreciate everything you've done through the years. I can say that as the representative. So it is with the great honor that I present this Order of the Longleaf Pine to Sheriff Dixon for the ambassador extraordinary and privileged rights of a member of the vaulted order, among which is a special privilege to purpose the North Carolina toast in company anywhere in the free world. This is the highest honor given by our governor to civilians of our state in memory of their service to our state. Thank you very much.
So with that, again, I really appreciate everybody coming. Thank you so much for carving out a half hour of your Monday work day. And so with that, you're now dismissed to go back to work, gentlemen. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't want to put you on the spot, brother. You take all the time you want and say what you want. Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to thank all of you being here. I'm a little bit bashful when you come get in front of crowds. I sit down and jotted down some of my memories. I started in the Boy Scouts when I was 11 years old, and I was a tenderfoot scout. I became a life member in 4 years, at age 14. I got that wrong. I started at 12. At 14, I got my life badge. Then I went on to work with my daddy in the shoe shop that was on the corner where City Hall is now. I later joined the Army and went to the 11th Airborne Division. Made 11 jumps, 13 jumps. I can't read my own writing.
Make it up, they won't know the difference.
I worked in 3 mills, Dan River Mill, CNA, and Longhurst. When I was coming up, went to work in Longhurst Mill the day I was 16 years old. Worked there for 3 years. I was married at the age of 21 to my bride, Mabel. I'll have to give her credit for everything that's happened to me since then. I got that I went to work in the prison department, and I was the state jail inspector. We've all been told about that. Took office sheriff's department in 1974. Served for 16 years as sheriff, and served until 1990. Then I became a criminal investigator. I was a criminal investigator during these 8 years. We saw 31 murders, all the murders that were committed during my administration. worked with Cliff Farmer when I first started. Cliff and I had been fishing together before I became a deputy. He came to the office to the shop where I worked with my daddy. He asked me if I wanted to be a deputy sheriff. And I told him, yeah, my daddy told me, yeah, tell him yes, and he goes teaching this. So I worked 16 years as, 4 years as a deputy. Then I ran and had 3 opponents. And I won over all 3 of them by 70% of the vote. I want to thank y'all for that. I left the sheriff's department in 1990 and went to work with the state. I worked with the building department 7 years. That's true, I can't read my own writing. And I want to say, I really am humbled to have all y'all come up and honor me today. Never would have thought that I'd have this honor. I want to mention some of the folks that worked with me. Robert Bumpers.
It is over there in the corner right there.
Ernest Bowie.
Everybody work on this day.
That was the sheriff's department, just that. They're the ones that made me who I am today. If I am anything. As you can tell, I'm not as much of a speechman. I don't know how I ever went through the campaign as the sheriff. Jim Tolan was my lawyer during that time. And he kept me out of some mighty close scraps. I'd like to recognize my wife, if you will. She's better at talking than I am.
We've been married for 60 years, this past February.
60.
You've been with one man for 60 years. I said, yeah, but he's been with me too, so that's. It's been a wonderful life, and this is one of the greatest honors that anybody could ever bestow upon somebody, and we appreciate it so much. I feel part of it because when he first started, I was acting, what do you call it, female jailer to do some, I had to, a female jail, I had to go in and check the women that were coming into jail. I even helped him with some of the cooking in the jail, you know, because we didn't have, you know, what, 9 people? Yeah, and so it wasn't very many people left over to do this stuff, so like I say, he said, you mind coming up here and checking this lady out for us? I said, mind a bit. But anyway, it's been a wonderful time, it really has, and I'm real proud to be the wife of this man.